It was mostly me. It was maybe a couple sisters from New York City, but it was Tasha and Pascal.
So, shut. That's class. I just sir. Clip door. Sean, state your registry.
Officer Gashawn, Banya Howder, Banya Shala.
Officer Sean, Banya Howard, Banya Sa'ala.
Yabashim Yabshah Thumb.
Yahba Shem Yahshua.
Yeah, Yashala.
Israel, Majum, prepare for the reading of the prayers. I follow Qadam, which is basically talk.
This is the Lord's Prayer in Hebrew. Abanaw,
Abanaw,
Shabbat Shemayim,
Shabbat Shemayim,
Wadash,
Wadash,
Hayah,
Hayah,
Shemka,
Shemka,
Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Lapaka,
Lapaka,
Abah,
Abah,
Zaka,
Zai,
Hayah,
Hayah,
Aisha,
Aisha,
Baratza,
Baratza,
Kawa,
Kawa,
Hayah,
Hayah,
Bashemayim,
Bashemayim,
Nathan,
Nathan,
Nawa,
Now,
Come,
Come,
Cow,
Cow,
the Wom, Basalak Nawa,
Basalak Nawa,
Kabuak Nawa,
Kabuak Nawa,
Kaslak Nawa,
Kaslak Nawa,
Kabuak Nawa,
Kabuak Nawa,
Walaa,
Walaa,
Kabuyaw Nawa,
Tabanai Nawa,
Wanasaya one,
Wanasaya one,
a ball,
Ball,
Hawashai now,
Hawashai Nawa,
Ayan,
Ayan,
Right,
Right,
Hayah,
Hayah,
Ka,
Ka,
Amalakwa,
Amalakwa,
Wahala,
Wahala,
Wahatha Parat,
Wahatha Parat,
I will you,
I will you.
come on,
Come on. The Lord's Prayer in English. Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name.
Hallowed be thy name.
Thy kingdom come.
Thy kingdom come.
Thy will be done.
Thy will be done.
In earth, as is in heaven. Give us this day.
Give us this day
our daily bread.
our daily bread.
Give us our debts.
Forgive us our debts.
As we forgive our debtors.
As we forgive our debtors.
It is not into temptation.
It is not into temptation.
But deliver us from evil.
But deliver us from evil.
For thine is the kingdom.
Thine is the kingdom.
And the power.
And the power.
And the glory.
And the glory.
Forever.
Forever.
So be it.
So be it. It's the prayer for the power in Hebrew. Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Hashem Yahweh.
Hashem Yahweh.
Baba Kashah.
Baba Kashah.
Thuginawa.
Thuginawa.
Akak.
Akak.
Akak. La Pra'ah.
Ra'ah.
Kal Makala.
Kal Makala.
Kal Marawa.
Kal Marawa.
Akak.
Akak.
Atahar.
Atahar.
Abu Tazrayan.
Abu Tazrayan.
Akak.
Akak.
Hakim.
Hakim.
Makim.
Makim.
Akak.
Akak.
Arakapwa.
Arakapwa.
Atamahala.
Atamahala.
Agarashan.
Agarashan.
Hashim.
Hashim.
Yahushai.
Yahushai.
Water.
Water.
Aman.
Aman. This is the power in English. Yahweh.
Yahweh.
In the name of Yahweh Shah.
In the name of Yahweh Shah.
Please give us the power.
Please give us the power.
The power to heal all manner of sickness.
Power to heal all manner of sickness.
All manner of disease.
All manner of disease.
The power to cleanse the leper.
Power to cleanse the leper.
The power to raise the dead.
Power to raise the dead.
The power against unclean spirits.
Power against unclean spirits.
Cast them out.
Cast them out.
In the name of Yahweh Shah.
In the name of Yahweh Shah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So be it.
So be it. This is Psalms 121 in the Hebrew. Asha'ad.
Asha'ad.
Ayanya.
Ayanya.
Al-Hararium.
Al-Hararium.
Ma'ayan.
Ma'ayan.
Yaba'ad.
Yaba'ad.
Zaria.
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 Ma'ayin.
Ma'ayin.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Ashah.
Ashah.
Shemayim.
Shemayim.
Baratazah.
Baratazah.
Al-Yathan.
Al-Yathan.
Amawat.
Amawat.
Galka.
Galka.
Al-Yanawam.
Al-Yanawam.
Shamaraka.
Shamaraka.
Kana.
Kana.
La'ad.
La'ad.
Yanawam.
Yanawam.
Wala'ad.
Wala'ad.
Ayashan.
Ayashan.
Sharmar.
Sharmar.
Yasha'ala.
Yasha'ala.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Shamaraka.
Shamaraka.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Zalka.
Zalka.
Yad.
Yad.
Yam Yak.
Yam
Like it. Yam Yakab.
Yamaka.
Yamawam.
Yamawam.
Basamash.
Basamash.
La'ayakakab.
Yahweh.
Wayarak.
Wayarak.
Malayala.
Walayala.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Yashamaraka.
Yashamaraka.
Kalrai.
Kalrai.
Bashamar.
Bashamar.
Afnapashka.
Afnapashka.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Yashamar.
Ashamar.
Tazaka.
Tazaka.
Wabawaka.
Wabawaka.
Ayatha.
Ayatha.
I will lump.
I will learn. Psalms 121 in English. I will lift my eyes into the hills.
I will lift my eyes into the hills.
From which cometh my help?
From which cometh my help?
My help coming from your house.
My help coming from your house.
Which made heaven and earth.
Which made heaven and earth.
You will not suffer thy foot to be moved.
You will not suffer thy foot to be
He
moved.
that keepeth thee,
He that keepeth
he
thee
will not slumber.
will not slumber.
Behold,
Behold,
he that keepeth Israel,
he that keepeth Israel
shall not slumber nor sleep.
shall not slumber nor sleep.
Yahweh is thy keeper.
Yahweh is thy keeper.
Yahweh is thy shade upon thy right hand.
Yahweh is thy shade upon thy right hand.
The sun shall not smite thee by day,
The sun shall not smite thee by day,
nor the moon by night.
nor the moon by night.
Yahweh shall preserve thee from all evil.
Yahweh shall preserve thee from all evil.
He shall preserve thy soul.
He shall preserve thy soul.
Yahweh shall preserve thy going out.
Yahweh shall preserve thy going out
and thy coming in.
and thy coming in.
From this time forth.
This time forth.
Even forevermore.
Even forevermore. Psalms 83 in the Hebrew. Alahayim.
Alahayim.
Al-Tamyalaka.
Al-Tamyalaka.
Al-Takarash.
Al-Takarash.
Al-Tashakwat.
Al-Tashakwat.
Al.
Al.
Kayahana.
Kayahana.
Wabiyabika.
Wayabika.
Yahama Yawan.
Yahama Yawan.
Ash.
Ash.
Al-Aimaka.
Al-Aimaka.
Ira Yawak.
Ira Yawak.
Sawadah.
Sawadah.
Wayatha Ya'al Tazawa.
Wayatha Al-Tazawa.
Al-Tazabawanyaka.
Al-Tazabawanyaka.
Arama.
Arama.
Lakawa.
Lakawa.
Wanakakino.
Wanakakino.
Magoya.
Magoya.
Wala'a Tazayit. Wala'a Yashakar.
Wala'a Yashakar.
Sham Yasha'ala.
Sham Yasha'ala.
Awadah.
Awadah.
Kaya.
Kaya.
Na'awa Tazawa.
Na'awa Tazawa.
Abba.
Abba.
Yakadwa.
Yakadwa.
Auyaka.
Auyaka.
Barya.
Barya.
Yakarahwa.
Yakarahwa.
Ahawya.
Ahawya.
Arawam.
Arawam.
Wa Yashamai Aloyam.
Wa Yashamai Aloyam.
Waba'agwa.
Waba'agwa.
Wahagarium.
Wahagarium.
Gabal.
Gabal.
Why Amawan.
Why Amawan.
Why Amalak.
Why Amalak.
Palashah.
Palashah.
I'm Yeshabia.
I'm Yeshabia.
Tazawar.
Tazawar.
Yom Ashawar.
Yom Ashawar.
Alawa.
Alawa.
Imam.
Imam.
Hayawa.
Hayawa.
Zerawai.
Zerawai.
Vanya Lawak.
Lawak.
Selah.
Selah.
Asha'ai Laham.
Asha'ai Laham.
Amadyam.
Amadyam.
Kasaya Sara'ah.
Kasaya Sara'ah.
Kayabyam.
Kayabyam.
Banakal.
Banakal.
Payashwan.
Payashwan.
Nashamadwa.
Nashamadwa.
Bayan Dara.
Bayan Dara.
Hayawa.
Hayawa.
Daman.
Daman.
Ladama.
Ladama.
Sayatabwa.
Sayatabwa.
Nadad Ya Mawa.
Nadad Ya Mawa.
Ka'ibra.
Ka'ibra.
Wakasaba.
Wakasaba.
Kasaba.
Kasaba.
Katazal.
Katazal.
Manai.
Manai.
Kaunasiya Kamwa.
Kaunasiya Kamwa.
Ashar.
Ashar.
Amadwa.
Amadwa.
Nayarasha.
Nayarasha.
Lanawa.
Lanawa.
Nawa.
Yawa.
Alahayam.
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 Sayathamwa.
Sayathamwa.
Yagala.
Yagala.
Kakwash.
Kwash.
Panya Raka.
Panya Kwash.
Kaash.
Kaash.
Arya Ira.
Arya Ira.
Wakala Haba.
Wakala Haba.
Talahat.
Talahat.
Harayam.
Harayam.
Han. Daradapma.
Daradapma.
Kasa Irika.
Kasa Irika.
Wabasa Wapapka.
Wabasa Wapapka.
Babahalam.
Babahalam.
Wala'a.
Wala'a.
Payaham.
Payaham.
Palawan.
Palawan.
Wayabapashwa.
Wayabapashwa.
Shamka.
Shamka.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Yabashwa.
Yabashwa.
Wayabahawa.
Wayabahawa.
Ay.
Ay.
Wayakapara.
Wayakapara.
Wayabadwa.
Wayabadwa.
Wayadawa.
Wayadawa.
Kaya Ata.
Kaya Ata.
Shamka.
Shamka.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Badka.
Badka.
Ayawan.
Ayawan.
Alkaha Arataza.
Alkaha Arataza.
This is Psalms 83 in the English. Keep not thy silence, O Yahweh.
Keep not thy silence, O Yahweh.
Hold not thy peace.
Hold not thy peace.
And be not still.
And be not still.
O Yahweh.
O Yahweh.
For lo,
lo,
thy enemies make a tumult.
Thy enemies make a tumult.
And they that hate thee, have lifted up thy head.
Have lifted up thy head.
They have taken crafty counsel.
They have taken crafty counsel.
Against thy people.
Against thy people.
And consulted.
And consulted.
Against thy hidden ones.
Against thy hidden ones.
They have said.
They have said,
Come.
Come.
Let us cut them off.
Let us cut them off.
From being a nation.
From being a nation.
But the name of Israel.
The name of Israel.
May be no more remembrance.
No more remembrance.
They have consulted together.
They have consulted together.
With one consent.
One consent.
They are confederate against thee.
They are confederate against thee.
The tabernacles of Edom.
Tabernacles of Edom.
And the Ishmaelites.
The Ishmaelites.
Moab.
Moab.
Hagarim.
Hagarim.
Gabal.
Gabal.
And Ammon.
Ammon.
And Amalek.
Amalek.
The Philistines.
The Philistines.
The inhabitants of Tyre.
The inhabitants of Tyre.
Ashur.
Ashur.
Also is joined with them.
Also is joined with them.
They have hope in the children of life.
They have hope in the children of life.
Selah.
Selah.
Do unto them.
Do unto them.
Do unto them.
Do unto them.
As unto the Midianites.
As unto the Midianites.
As to Sarah.
To Sarah.
As to Jabin.
As to Jabin.
As the brook Kison.
The brook Kison.
Which perished at Endor.
Perished at Endor.
They became dung for the earth.
They became dung for the earth.
Make the nobles like Oreb.
Make the nobles like Oreb.
Like Zeid.
Like Zeid.
Yea.
Yea.
All the princes of Zabah.
All the princes of Zabah.
And of Zamuna.
And of Zamuna.
Who said.
Said.
Let us take to ourselves.
Let us take to ourselves.
The houses of Yahweh.
The houses of Yahweh.
In possession.
In possession.
Oh my power.
Oh my power.
Make them like a wheel.
Make them like a wheel.
As they stumble before the wind.
As they stumble before the wind.
As the fire burns the wood.
As the fire burns the wood.
As the flames set the mountains on fire.
As the flames set the mountains on
To
fire.
persecute them.
Persecute them.
With thy tempest.
With thy tempest.
And make them afraid.
Make them afraid.
With thy storm.
With thy storm.
Fill their faces with shame.
Fill their faces with shame.
They may seek thy name.
They may seek thy name.
Oh Yahweh.
Oh Yahweh.
Let them be confounded.
Let them be confounded.
In trouble.
Trouble.
Forever.
Forever.
Yea.
Yea.
Let them be put to shame.
Let them be put to shame.
Perish.
Perish.
That men may know.
That men may know.
That thou.
Thou.
His name alone.
His name alone.
Is Yahweh.
Is Yahweh.
Of the Most High.
Of the Most High.
All the earth.
All the earth.
Sarge, Mr. Turn, Shaggy, Mr. Get seated. All right, clap it up. Where are we streaming from? Anybody know where we streaming from? Are we on YouTube and Facebook and the whole nine?
I didn't see anything either.
Okay, go live real quick. What should we be streaming on? What we should be streaming on? What should we be streaming?
So like Facebook, sir.
Facebook. All right, just bear with me. We'll get it ready. Okay, go on. Right now. There we go. What Let's go back to your so. Yeah, right. There we go. 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 That's all right. All right, we're gonna get rolling. I'm gonna go live. That way we have it on here. We should be streaming on Facebook. So we can go live real quick. And if you go on my live, just let me know if you're hearing us, no feedback, anything like that. Just let me know. We should be going live now. It's lucky for we should be on Facebook and YouTube. However, we have technical difficulties, so people know. So we're gonna go live here, and just let me know if you can hear, if you can see it, if you get any feedback, anything like that. Let me know. All right. Well, slap it again. Welcome to the Sabbath service. I'm Officer 500 of Cos. To my far right, we got Prison Officer 500 Hadar Moth, and we also have my mighty man in the middle, Officer 50. Deshaun, clap it up for him. Right. I'm sorry, Christ. Again, welcome to the Atlanta camp. We are the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge, started on 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under commanding General Yohanan. And we've been bringing the truth to our people, letting us know who we are since 1969. Understand? Since 1969, the commanding General Yohanan been holding this truth down, teaching brothers like myself and the brothers up here, and also people out here, audience, the sisters and the brothers, teaching who we are according to the Bible. According to the Bible, blacks, Hispanics, Native Indians, we are the true Jews of the Bible. We are what we consider Israel. If you ever go in the Bible, you hear Moses talking to the children of Israel, that's you. That's you. Blacks, Hispanics, Native Indians. That's our people. That's our brothers. So just keep that in mind when you go out into the streets, to the world, and you see the Latin people and the Mexicans and Guatemalans and those type of people. Those are your brothers. Those are your brothers and your sisters, man. Although they don't know it yet. That's why we have these classes and we teach each other, the blacks, Hispanics, Native Indians. We are brothers and we're family. You understand? So we got to come back together. All right. So this is the Sabbath service. If you could just bring up, give me Leviticus 19 and 17 before we get started. I'm sorry, Leviticus 23 and 3. Leviticus 23 and 3 before we get started. Let you know what the Sabbath is for. Oh, shades. Shades. I don't want to be left out. Brothers don't say the shades. You know what I mean? All right. Man, sisters, you look good. Brothers, you look good as well. I mean, that's the water for being here. The address to our school is 3353 Glenwood Road. So if you're in the Atlanta area, we are just outside of Decatur. So 3353 Glenwood Road. Come down, present yourselves, come to the door, have a seat, bring your swords, and just have class. You understand? Learn with the Bible, what thus said the Lord. All right? Got the scripture?
Come.
Give it for me.
English. This is the book of Leviticus, chapter 23, verse 3. 6 days shall work be done, but the seventh day is the Sabbath of rest. 6 days have work be done. On the seventh day is the rest. I mean, you go out there and you bust your tail for 6 days out there. On the seventh day, you rest. Continue on. Come. And holy convocation, ye shall do no work.
A holy convocation. Anybody know what holy convocation is? Anybody? I know sisters and brothers know y'all been in this class. I know y'all been done it. Y'all know this stuff. A holy convocation is to be set. Go ahead, sis.
A meeting of Israelites.
That's right. Give a hand. You were deep I was gonna go. It's a meeting of Israelites. A separate meeting of Israelites. You understand? That's what a holy convocation is. Holy means to be separate, to be set apart. That's what holy means. It doesn't mean foaming at the mouth in church and falling down and all that good stuff. It just means separate, apart. We've been set apart. All right, so we have a holy convocation, but gathering the Israelites come together, understand the Lord, read the word, and to break bread. Right. You understand? We break bread, we eat, like when brothers and sisters bring food here, and brothers bring some strong, and we drink, and we eat, and we enjoy each other's company. Right. We haven't seen each other all week. We bust our butts all 6 days. You come here and rest, and how much better it is to get together with your people, just celebrate. Right. Celebrate what the Most High tells us to say, and He separate, man. That's what we're gonna do. Finish that, bro.
Come. Ye shall do no work therein.
Why would you argue against that? We should do no work therein. Go ahead.
It is the Sabbath of the Lord in all your dwellings.
It's the Sabbath of the Lord in all your dwellings. So this is a day for Israelites to come together to take that day off of your job. If you can get off your slavery, just call it a slavery, because we are in slavery still. If you can get off that job on that seventh day and not do no work,
Or if you have a business, let them people off that work, man. The Sabbath was made for us to come and enjoy the Lord's time, to enjoy our time, and to drink and be merry with each other. I mean, you guys, we used to do it back in the day. We used to call it Big Mama's house. We used to go to Big Mama's house and enjoy, the weekend, the Sabbath.
Right.
That because it was embedded in us. We've always done this. We just changed the call to something else. But the Lord ordered us for all our generations to do this. So we've always been doing it. So we've been calling it Big Mama's house. We go to Grandmama's house, and we, once Grandma passed away, it's kind of like the glue gone. My grandma passed away a long time ago. It's like the bottom just fell out. But if we adhere to the Most High God and say, you know what, it doesn't matter. If Big Mama fall out or Big Papa fall out, and they pass on and go away, because black people don't die, they pass. So when our people pass, we hold those traditions. Traditions, we got to hold and hold fast to our traditions, man. If not, we'll be lost. That's why they call us the lost 12 tribes of Israel, because we don't know where we're from. We don't know our identity. We don't know anything. We don't have a culture. We have nothing. Have us run around thinking we Egyptians. Have us run around thinking we Moors. Have us run around thinking we all kind of things, man. As one brother said, man, what's your nationality? He said, I'm a Baptist. Come on, brother. Come on, man. What's your nationality? I'm a Baptist. Okay, bro. You be a Baptist. Then some people think, what's your nationality? I'm black. Black is a color. It's not a nationality. So we got to come back to this Bible and understand who you are, man. I asked lady I'm Puerto Rican. I'm Dominican. Okay, you know what Puerto Rico is? You tell me, yeah, it's rich port. So you mean tell me that's what you are, rich port? I said, what were you before Christopher Columbus came and called you a Puerto Rican or Dominican or El Salvadorian? They have no idea. We're the only group of people who have no idea who we are past our grandma. If I ask anybody today, what's your grandma? They'll tell me a grandma. I say, what's your great grandma? Never met her. Don't know anything about her. Because we're lost people. We lost our identities. Spanish people in the same boat. Native Indians in the same boat. So on the Sabbath, we come together, we read out of the Bible, we read the first seven verses in the Hebrew. That's our holy language, that's our tongue. Because we never spoke, Spanish and English was never our first language. Right. You understand? Your first language was the Hebrew. You got sent over here to the Americas, and was beaten by the Spaniards, or we was beaten by the Caucasians, and we was told to speak this language. Right. So this is not your Spanish man, this is not your original language. Black man, this is not your original language. Native Indians, this is not your original tongue. The Lashawan Kwadash, it means holy tongue. That is your original language. And you're going to hear some of that today. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to read the first 7 verses in the Hebrew, and then we'll come back and read it in English. We're going to start at Deuteronomy, I think it was 7, and I believe we started at 12. So we're going to start at Deuteronomy 7 and 12. If you got your swords or your Bibles, read along. If you got a blue letter Bible, you have the English on one side and the Hebrew on the other side. You can kind of follow along with the brother saying, all right? If you don't have that, let me know after class. I can get you set up with those books. That way you can follow along. It makes it much easier. All right? Go ahead and start reading.
Come. This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 7, verse 12. Slaki in the Hebrew. Wahaya, Iquab, Dasha, Ma'ai, 1, Af, Hamasha, Kwa Chayam, Slaki, Hamasha, Patium, Ha'a, Lawa, no, Slaki, Ha'a, La, Washa, Marathon, Wa'ai, Shayathon, Athon, Washamar, Yahweh, Allah Hayyak, Allah Hayyaka, Laka, Af, Haba Rayath, Habariath, Wa'af, Hakasad, Ashar, Nashabai, Bathayak, La'abathayaka, Salakit, verse 13. Wa'a Habaka, Habaka, Waba Rakak, Kaka, Wabaraka, Salakit, Waha Rabaka, Wabaraka, Wabarak, Salakit, Pariah, Tanak, Waparaya, Adamaka, Daganak, Daganka, Salakia, the Yarashak, Wayataza, Harak, Wayataza Haraka, Salakia, Shigar, Allah, Payayaka, Wa'ai, Shatarath, Taza, I, Naka, Taza Anka, Ila, Ha Adarma, Ashar, Nashabai, La'a Tayak, Latath, Laka. Verse 14. Bararak.
You clap that for him? All right, we'll take over from that. Go ahead.
It's the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 7, verse 14. Baraka, Fahaya, Bakal, Ha'imim, La'a, Yahweh, Bak, Iquar, Akrar, Waba, Bahamathka. Verse 15. Waha Sayar, Yahweh, Mamak, Kal, Kala, Wakal, Madaya, Matazarayim, Arayim, Ashar, Lada'if, La'a, Yashayim, Waka, Wanathamim, Wakal, Shana'athka. Verse 16. Wa'a Kalath, Ath, Kal, Ha'imim, Ashar, Yahweh, Alahayaka, Nathan, Lak, La'a, the Kas, Anayak, Alahayim, Wa'al, Wala'a, Tayabad, Ath, Alahayim, Alahayatham, Kaya, Makodash, Mawakwash, Hawa'a, Lak. Verse 17. Kaya, Thamar, Wala Bakah, Rabayim, Hagalyim, Ha'ala, Mamaya, Ayaka, Abakal, La'a Waryak, Laha Waryashim, it's like verse 18. La'a Thayara, Maham, Zakar, Thashakar, Ath, Ashar, Aisha, Yahweh, Alahayaka, La Parai, Walakal, Matazarine.
Yeah, so I'm good.
7.
I mean, that's it?
12, start verse 12.
Done. Oh, so like one more. So like in verse 19. Wahamasaf, Hagala, Halagalatha, Ashar, Rawa, Ayanyaka, Waha Mapathium, Wahayad, Hazakak, Wahazarai, Manasaya, Ashar, Hawa Tazaaka, Yahweh Alahayaka, Khan, Ayashar, Yahweh Alahayaka, Lakal, Ha'amyam, Ashar, Atha, Yarah, Mapanyaham. That's it.
All right, I'm sorry, clap it up for him. What you just heard was the Lashawan Kodash, the holy language. And matter of fact, on Fridays, this is our Lashawan Kodash instructor right here. He's a teacher, man. He's very good at what he does, man. He teaches us how to read that language, man. So we are able to chime in on this one on Fridays. Every Friday starting from 7 to 9, you'll see that brother up there reading and teaching you the actual language, man. So I encourage you all out there to go ahead and tune into the ISUPK on any Friday at 7 to 9 and catch any one of the brothers in our classes teaching this Lashawan Kodesh, the holy tongue. All right, we're gonna read the first. We're gonna read those. We're gonna read it in English, folks. Go back to verse 12. Read in English. What?
This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 7, verse 12 in English.
Mm-hmm.
Wherefore it shall come to pass, if ye hearken to the judgments and keep and do them,
Mm-hmm.
that the Lord thy God shall keep unto thee the covenant and the mercy which he sware unto thy fathers.
The Lord said, if you hearken unto the law, the judgments, law, statutes, commandments, man, you keep them, he will go ahead and give us the blessings and the things that he promised our forefathers. What was the covenant for our forefathers? Anybody know what the covenant he gave to us? What was the covenant that he gave to Abraham? Anybody may know? If not, we're gonna look it up.
I mean, Salaki.
Go ahead.
I mean, he promised the land.
Mm-hmm.
He promised them land. He promised them life. He promised them rulership, sir.
He promised them everything that we would get, the blessings for his loins. You got to remember, at the time, Abraham, his name wasn't even Abraham yet. His name was Abram.
Right.
The Lord blessed him and gave him the name Abraham. And he said, haven't had any kids, I'm going to bless you with many nations and give you the land. If you just listen to my voice, I will give you I will make you, above all the other people on the earth. You understand? This is the stuff that he said, you also give us a land that's flowing with milk and honey. This is what he promised the children of Israel. He promised to Abraham when he didn't even have any children. It was all in his loins at the time. But this is the promises. But throughout your generations, you have to actually hearken and listen to what he asked us to do. He gave us laws, statutes, commandments that we must follow. We don't follow them to this day. That's why we find us in turmoil all the time. But he said, if you just hearken, read it again, if you hearken.
Come. If ye hearken to these judgments.
If you hearken, just listen to these judgments, go ahead.
And keep and do them.
Keep and do is the most important thing. Do. Our people, like I said, we've been destroyed for lack of knowledge, man. We think shrimp, pork, and lobster is food.
Right.
It's not food. The Lord's supposed to stay away from those things. And in turn, when we don't stay away from them, what do? High blood pressure, heart disease. We're number one in all those categories. You understand? He bring the plagues upon us. He said, not only just listen, but you have to do those things. You understand? Stop celebrating birthdays. Stop celebrating holidays. All these things are pagan. The pagans used to do these things.
Right.
We're not pagan. We're the children of Israel. We have laws that we follow and we abide by. Just like you in your house. You got your mother and father got rules in your house. They're up to you. You abide by those rules. You break them, you get punished. You follow them, you get blessings. You understand?
Right.
The Lord applies that to us all day long. So you see why we're destroyed people. We're destroyed people. You got our Hispanic brothers locked up in cages on the border.
Right.
We got all other countries coming in, Afghanistan and some people over there now in Russia. They're coming in across the border, but our Mexican brothers can't even cross. Right. They can't even come across. And this was their land. You understand? Blacks, I mean, forget about it. You understand? We get shot down the street like a dog. Our Indians, man, you don't even hear anything about the Indian reservation.
Right.
They've been taken over.
They got so much land out there that it's been dry. They can't even develop anything on that land because they were ordered not to. These are the curses that that befalls us because we did not follow the law, statutes, commandments. So the curse falls on us when we don't follow these law, statutes, commandments. Because we can't just hear it, you have to actually do them.
Right.
You understand? How hard is it to do? How hard is it for you not to shave your beard, like the Lord said? How hard is it not to boil your head with a razor? How hard is it not to kill your brothers?
Right.
How hard is it for you to have a helping hand to one of your sisters, man, who needs your help? To forgive them for the things they've done to you, man. Turn the other cheek. That's what turn the other cheek means. It don't mean turn the other cheek to slap you again. That means just forgive your brother, your sister for the things because we all been through a lot of things, man. We have been taught not to forgive each other.
Right.
If we'll forgive our oppressor all day long, they'll go down and shoot us in the church, filled with people, and you will forgive them.
Right.
But your brother or your sister cannot give you $5 or the $20 they owe you, and now you talking about them like a dog. Like my $20 at? I want my money.
Right.
And you hate them. And the Lord said, don't hate your brother in your heart, man. Love your brother. Love your neighbor. Understand? Keep reading.
Con. Finish up right.
Go ahead, Bishop. We'll keep reading.
Con. And keep and do them, that the Lord thy God shall keep unto thee the covenant and the mercy, which he sware unto thy fathers.
That's right. Keep going.
Verse 13. And he will love thee and bless thee and multiply thee. He will also bless the fruit of thy womb and the fruit of thy land, thy corn and thy wine and thine oil, the increase of thy kind, and the flocks of thy sheep in the land which he sware unto thy fathers to give thee.
Who's in that land right now? The Lord swore that land will be ours. Who's in that land right now? Go ahead, brother.
Salaki, it says that the Bible says that our land will be trodden down by the Gentiles.
That's right. We'll be trodden down by the Gentiles. In the land of actually Palestine, over in our land of Jerusalem, you have people who don't look like you.
Right.
Do not look. They don't have hue in their skin. They don't have heavy wool hair. They don't look like a Hispanic. They definitely don't look like a Native Indian.
Right.
So who are these people? Go ahead, sister. Who are the people?
The people might be the people who put us in slavery.
Exactly. Make give her a hand. These are the people that put us in slavery are in our land right now because we disobeyed the Most High God. You wonder why we go through all the situations we go through in lives. Man, our children are dying. You know what I'm saying? We catching hell. We working. They're in the sun up to sundown 7 days a week. You wonder why these things are happening to us because we have not followed the Most High God and what He wants to do.
Right.
So He has to punish us. But this is not. But the Lord has an answer for this. The answer is come back to my laws, statutes, commandments. Come and read these scriptures and do exactly what I tell you to do. Come out of all that stuff. Understand? Keep reading.
Come. Verse 14. Thou shalt be blessed above all people.
Above who?
Above all people.
All people. We shall be blessed above all people. Right now, we're not blessed above all people.
Right.
You're not blessed above all people. You have the daggone Indian man at the gas station. You got to use the restroom. You pay $30. I would say $30, but now you're paying $60, $70 at the gas pump. And then not only that, your kids might want something to eat out there. So you go grab chips or some water or something to drink. Now you're gonna spend $100 or $120 at the gas station.
Right.
And the minute you say, hey, can I use your restroom? What they tell you? It's closed. Go around back.
Right.
You have to go outside and use the restroom. Or if they let you use it at all.
Right.
They'll say it's closed to us. After you spend $150 at their store. And most of them are in our neighborhood. In our Latin and Black neighborhoods, that's where all the daggone East Indians are. Giving our people food. And we're buying it. We're patrons, but we can't use the restrooms.
And Salaki, sir.
Go ahead, brother.
If I could, if you think about it, it's like those gas stations, they keep those restrooms dirty and filthy like that on purpose. They do it on purpose, like just to just to deter us
That's right.
from using the restroom. You know what I'm saying? They never clean them at all, sir.
And no, that's true because I mean most when you hear in America, I guess when you go to Esau's bathroom, They have laws, they gotta keep it clean. Every hour or every 2 hour and a half, they go and check them things and keep it clean. But your East Indians, they do not give a damn. With them bathrooms, like he said, they deter you from going in there. And then who you got in the corners? The Arabs on the corner cooking your chicken. They got the chicken joints locked up. Like we always say, our sisters cook chicken better than anybody out there.
Right.
But yet the Arabs are getting, they reaping the benefits of us. Because we let them get over us because we didn't follow the Lord's statutes and commandments. Read that what you just said again. Above all this?
Thou shalt be blessed above all people.
We are not blessed above all people. Keep reading.
Come on. There shall not be male or female barren among you or among your cattle.
Man, we should have children. The Lord said, be fruitful and multiply.
Right.
All these women out there, saying that my body, my choice. Come on, man. It's not your body. It's not your choice. Your body belongs to the Most High God.
Right.
He's going to make you barren. He made you barren, but he said he won't make you barren. He'll make you have children and multiply. And that's what we're supposed to do. We're supposed to multiply our families, man. Right now, the average person right now, you have 2 kids, you have one more, like, oh, you got too many kids. But back in the day, our grandmothers and grandfathers, they had 10 kids, 15 kids. Further than that, 15 kids, 20 kids. We had many children. And now, your oppressor is telling you it's too many. 2 is too many. If you have, even your mothers are telling you 2 is too many. How you gonna take care of them? Let me ask you a question. How did your parents go, or your ancestors go through slavery? They didn't stop having children. And they're in the worst predicament than we are. And they still having children. They still had us.
Salaki.
Go ahead, bro.
No welfare, no none of that stuff. I mean,
that was Black Power.
no cell phone.
That was Black Power. When you think about it, that was the example of Black Power. All we had was each other. Now, granted, we had some of them, Uncle Toms, or what do you call them, flipping Brother Sambos, whatever, that turned against us. But for the most part, you had Black Power on the reservations, man. As much as they could, they stayed together, and they had children, and they had midwives, they had them children, and they looked after each other the best they could. Nowadays, we don't even do that. We don't look out for each other. Our neighborhoods, you live in your neighborhood, you barely even speak to your neighbors. They look just like you. I don't want to know them niggas. I don't want to know them people.
Right.
I'm keeping to myself. Come on, man, you're people. You see a child getting in trouble, you just ride right past and you don't even say nothing.
Right.
Now I understand why we don't, because now you say something, sister or brother might get in. Yeah, I'm saying to my kids. We don't have that camaraderie no more.
Right.
We don't have that. When I was growing up, man, in Jersey or Florida, man, shoot, your neighbor could come in and put you beside the head, and thump you, or even spank you, and your parents bring it back to your parents. Parents look at you and say, "What did you do?"
Right.
And then get right back on your butt. That's how it was growing up. We kept each other. Like I said, it takes a village to raise a child.
Right.
It really does. But nowadays, we took that away from each other because our heart has been so hard towards each other. Hispanics don't like blacks. Blacks don't like Hispanics. Native Indians, they don't have nobody. Even the Mexicans don't like the daggone Native Indians. If you go up over towards New Mexico, you have our Mexican brothers and sisters are against the natives. It's horrible between us, man. But we're family. Sorry, but you want to say something?
Slightly, sir, if I could, you mentioned that's a very heavy point. Because, like just recently, I have some Mexican neighbors who moved right next door. And most high Christ, I was actually so excited that it was Hispanic brothers living next door to me. And I would make sure to go introduce myself. Say, hey, welcome to the neighborhood. Where you from? It's, oh yeah, we from Mexico. And I said, yes. And I said, Viva la raza. and they when I said that, like, they got a little more comfortable.
That's right.
With me, that, just knowing that I'm not against them.
Right.
And as you say, they being, my neighbors, they live right next door to me. Every time I see them, I wave to them. Every time I make sure to speak to them. That's right. Let them know that, that we're not strangers. If you need something, you can come and talk to us. These brothers, so like they even, they even cut part of my grass. Oh, no. And I'm cool with it. I'm cool with it. Just the other morning, I saw, these brothers have a lot of trucks real quick. And I saw tracks in my yard. Because they brothers were moving their trucks. He's like, you know what? I'm not even upset. Because I understand why they have to do that and whatnot. That's right. But that's what we're saying. That camaraderie, that brotherhood. Just speaking to these brothers. Just let them know, hey, that I am not your enemy. Right. I'm your friend. I'm your brother. You know what I'm saying? If I could real quick, I even do that to other Hispanic brothers on my job. Let them know, I am not your enemy. We are brothers. I tell them, hey, mi hermano de otra madre.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? My brother from another mother. I speak to them every time. It's like,
Nah, that's they clap it up for me, man. Thank the Most High for this truth, man. This truth that the Commander General Hunter has been passing down, kept it going since 1969, man. It's got us to understand the true brotherhood and the true sisterhood of what we're looking for, man.
right.
If you want to find true brotherhood and sisterhood, this is where you need to be. You need to be in one of these classes to a city near you. All you got to do is go look on ISUPK.org, I believe right now, or ISUPK.com, ISUPK.org, and just find a city near you and go into that school. You will find that these brothers and sisters in these schools are open arms, welcoming you open arms, man,
Right.
to come and to understand this truth. Because it's all, in the end, it's all we got.
Right.
All we got is us. You don't see any other groups out there harking or jockeying to be with us. We're in this whole thing together.
Right.
And we're gonna get out of it together. All right? Go ahead, brother.
Yeah, I just want to kind of piggyback on what you're saying, so heavy what you're bringing out, and, especially in verse 14, when it said like, no male or female gonna be buried among you. When we're blessed, like I said, the Lord said, be fruitful and multiply. It's just like the Christian church put fear into our people.
Right.
They lie. They won't read this scripture out. They won't let our women know, like, you're supposed to have children. Because I know down where I live, you got girls in their young 20s, like on their second and third child, getting their tubes tied, getting themselves fixed. What they call them? Eunuchs? Eunuchs. Eunuchs. You're a voluntary eunuch at this point. You're voluntarily doing it because you're letting the Christian church and other leaders and stuff put fear in your heart, in your mind, that you're not financially stable to take care of this child. You're not physically fit to be able to take care of this child and stuff like that. And it destroys us doing that, And the Bible says that we're not even supposed to marry a woman that a eunuch, a woman that will fix herself to where she couldn't have any children and stuff like that. We're not even supposed to marry y'all. We're not even supposed to deal with y'all, But it's just heavy that we let society, we let the world, tap into our mindset, tap into our minds, to pollute our minds, to pretty much kill our own children, or just not be fruitful and multiply anyways. You
gotta understand that this world, where we at now, where you living at, it ain't for you, black man and Spanish baby. This world was not designed for us.
Right.
That's why things feel weird. That's why we fight and struggle against our own imagination. Our mind's like, I just know something better than this. I know we ain't supposed to do this, because you're fighting that, because your spirit knows this world wasn't designed for you. It's not designed for us, man. We're supposed to be princes and princesses in this land. We're supposed to be running this land.
Right.
That's why you're in conflict with yourself against your oppressors and against everybody else, because you know in your heart of hearts that something's not right. But if you come back and read these scriptures, you'll know it ain't right, and you know why it's not right.
Right.
We ain't supposed to be living like this at all. We are special people, man. We are holy people. We are godly people, man.
That's right.
But they'll have you telling you just niggas and spicks and saying, savages and highly sexual active and all thugs, and that's what they'll tell you we are. When they're the original thugs. They're the ones who bum. Those are the ones who are the robbers or the big time drug dealers. Black people ain't no big time drug dealers. We try to be. We try to imitate Al Capone and the rest of them people, and we get locked up for it.
Right.
They are your original drug dealers, the best ones. They are your gang members. Gang members. They're the biggest gang members. The police force is a gang force. They start as gang members. They combine. They bonded together and came to lock up black people, Spanish people, Native Indians. They're the biggest gang out there. Not us. We try to emulate them. We try to do what your oppressors do, and we fail at it every time. You gonna say something?
Yeah, I'm gonna kind of say Slocky, if I may, you kind of reminded me of this movie I just seen the other night. It's a movie called Memory. If you ever watch Taken with what his name, Liam something? Yeah, Liam Nelson or something like that.
Yeah.
That guy played on a movie called Memory.
Mm-hmm.
If you got time, check it out. It's crazy because it's showing you where I predicted when it first happened, when all the Latinos and stuff started getting caught at the border. They were locking the children up. we were wondering like, why are they mostly talking to children? A lot of adults they were letting go, but they were still keeping the children. In this movie, it shows you that it's one huge pedophile ring going on down at the border, and they're showing it in the movie, and it's just like they're mocking us, like we're doing this to y'all out in the open. We're doing it to the Hispanics out in the open. We know that this is a full-fledged pedophile ring going on, and can't nobody do nothing about it.
He's war out there, man.
In the movie, he got so fed up that he said he couldn't hurt children. He started attacking people that was affiliated, with the government and stuff like that. But when he got down to the last person, which was a woman, which he thought was a woman, come to find out, it was even hiding her. You know what I'm saying?
As he's up, way.
But
like you said, they put it in our face.
Put it in our face,
and like it's like, what you gonna do about it? You ain't gonna do nothing about it. You understand? So we'll finish it on our keep reading, bro.
Come. Verse 15. And the Lord will take away from thee all sickness, and will put none of the evil diseases of Egypt, which thou knowest, upon thee, but will lay them upon all them that hate thee.
Man, that's deep.
Wow.
That is deep. Read that one more time. You gotta read that deep. Read that last part. That last part. That's why we come to class.
Right.
Read that.
Verse Deuteronomy chapter 7, verse 15. And the Lord will take away from thee all sickness.
COVID-19, AIDS. Give me some more. Give me monkeypox.
Right.
Diabetes. Heart attack. What was that? Hypertension. All these diseases the Lord will take away. He gave these to Egypt, not to us.
Right.
We're not supposed to get all these things that they had. We were supposed to be. There was a time in the scripture where, like the Lord's remember, he said, remember in Egypt, he gave them hemorrhoids, the frogs, the locusts. He did it all to those people.
Right.
And the children of Israel was safely up on the hill. Even to the fact that he created the death angel to come by and kill all the firstborn, not just of people, but of animals.
Right.
Even the ants.
Right.
The firstborn. He killed them. Go ahead.
He gave boils to them.
Boils on his
animals.
Yeah, he gave boils. And he killed every firstborn. But the children of Israel, nothing touched them. Nothing touched them. These diseases that we have today, we are not supposed to be subjugated to these diseases.
Right.
But because we don't listen and hearken, we get them diseases, man. He told you don't eat all those things, and we eat them.
Right.
He tell you don't be homosexual. We are.
Right.
We get AIDS and monkeypox. All these things that we do, that the Lord told you not to do, become subjugated to it. But it wasn't for us. These are the plagues that He's supposed to give other nations, not us. It's plain as day. Finish that out. Read it again, brother.
Right. Come from the top. Come. This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 7, verse 15. And the Lord will take away from thee all sickness, and will put none of the evil diseases of Egypt, which thou knowest, upon thee, but will lay them upon all them that hate thee.
Who's the them? All them that hate thee. So you will be put in that them if you hate the Lord by not following the laws, statutes, commandments. You become just like your enemies, just like your oppressors. Once you do not hearken and do what the Lord tell you to do, now you become just like the heathens, and you will also get all those plagues.
Right.
You get all those plagues because you became as them, because you didn't hearken to the Most High God, His voice, and stay away from everything He told you to stay away from.
That's right.
We become them. But it was not for us at all. So get the Most High hand. Keep reading, brother.
Come.
Yeah.
Verse 16.
Okay, keep reading.
Verse 16. And thou shalt consume all the people which the Lord thy God shall deliver thee.
Hold that. If you can, Officer Dark, can you give me on Exodus? Give me on Leviticus 19 and 17. Because you have to understand who we are. The Lord says you gotta have to understand who your neighbor is. Who is your neighbor? It's not your neighbors is not your person that lives next door to you. That's not your neighbor. You're gonna find out who your neighbor is. We're gonna show you these things because our people don't understand these scriptures. Some people are not authorized to teach these scriptures. Just like you have people authorized to do brain surgery, you have authorized people to, you wouldn't call a regular Joe Schmo off the street just to do your car. You wouldn't do that. You wouldn't call just somebody off the street just to operate on a heart surgery. You call the specialist.
Right.
They're the specialists in everything we do. Well, in these scriptures, there are priests and prophets here to tell you exactly what this Bible means. We will call the specialists. We call it priests and prophets. That these things are given to us to teach our people. It's always been that way. But somehow people throw that out the window when it comes to the Bible. They think anybody can teach you. Right. Anybody can interpret it. Anybody can just say this is what it is. But they have not been authorized to teach this Bible. Right. There are only a certain group of people on this earth that are authorized to teach this daggone Bible. And that's the ISUPK under Command General Hana.
That's right.
This is the book of Leviticus, chapter 19, verse 17. Thou shalt not hate thy brother in thine heart. Thou shalt in any wise rebuke thy neighbor, and not suffer sin upon him. Now, if one says your brother, then it drop down and says your neighbor. It's synonymous, right? One says brother, then says neighbor. Keep reading. Verse 18. Thou shalt not avenge, nor bear any grudge against the children of thy people. Now it went to the children. It went from brother to your neighbor to the children. Keep going. But thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. You should love thy neighbor as yourself, which is your brother, who's an Israelite, who's the children of Israel. There you go. Those are your people that you're supposed to do all these things to and with. Not anybody else. Obviously, don't hold that and give me also Exodus 11 and 7. Because a lot of people think, you know what? I'm on this because I met people and I asked them I'm Egyptologist, I'm African, I'm this, I'm that. Well, there's a difference between these people. And the Lord is telling us we're a difference between these people. Right. But yet you think that your politicians who are not of your race, of your people, you vote for these politicians and the thing we get backlash. And then you wonder why we're still in a predicament. Because the Lord told you not to vote for these people. Right. They're not your brother. They're not your neighbor. But we fail and we keep doing this. But we keep thinking we're different people. Read it when you got it, brother. The book of Exodus, chapter 11, verse 7. But against any of the children of Israel. Against who? The children of Israel. Go ahead. Shall not a dog move his tongue against man or beast. We just got done reading all the plagues will go against other people. Same thing right now. If you're children of Israel, nobody's gonna mess with you. Right. You can't be hurt, harmed by anybody. Keep reading. Okay. That ye may know how that the Most High don't put a difference. Made a what? A difference. Made a what? A difference. Go ahead. Between the Egyptians and Israel. The Egyptian and Israel. So there's a separation. There's a difference between the children of Israel and the Egyptians and everybody else. Right. At the most, the Lord is a separatist. You don't want to call him a racist, we'll call him racist. But at the very least, he's a separatist. Right. He has separated people. So then when you do it on the streets, they call you a racist and you're bad about this and you can't do that. But the Lord is just showing you the difference that he put against them. He said there's a difference against the children of Egypt. I will put you above all the other nations. Something's going on here, man. Your Christian pastor has been lying to you. You better go back and ask your Christian pastor, what the hell did he mean? What does the scripture mean? And see if he'll tell you the truth. If he's not telling you the truth, you need to get up, walk out there, and come to 3353 Glenwood Road and get the truth. Right. Go to ISUPK and get the truth under Command General Hana. We got no sugarcoat nothing. We're going to tell you exactly what this thing is. Right. That's right. You can't argue against my word. I didn't write the Bible. Right. I didn't put these words down. Right. And you say you love the Most High God, and they've been, inspired by the Lord. You know it's coming from His words. Right. You understand? It's like it. Keep reading, brother. Sorry. Throw it up.
Come. Thou shalt consume all the people which the Lord thy God shall deliver thee. Thine eye shall have no pity upon them.
Damn, the Lord just said, I was consumed all them who hurt you. That's why he's going to hurt them, which he had done that in Egypt. He consumed them, killed them, because they tried to harm the children of Israel. That's how much the Lord loves us. Go ahead, bro.
I mean, that's heavy. If our people just think about that, think about today, and the Lord want to help us in this way. What good would it be to forgive our person for murdering one of our family members or something like that? When it said right here, what the Most High would do to the people that had something against Israel.
And did it
The
say had no
Lord-
pity?
Yeah.
It had no pity, right?
Had
It
no
had,
pity.
had no pity.
Why you hugging them? Why you doing their hair? I mean, why you forgiving them before you know the body even left the damn crime scene?
Right.
You know, it doesn't make sense.
That's right.
Go
If
ahead.
the Lord don't have no pity, why should you? Go ahead, little sis.
If somebody murders somebody in your family, you don't have to do anything, but the Most High will do something about it.
Most High Christ. If y'all didn't hear, I'm gonna say what our little sister said. She said, if somebody harm your family, she kill you. You have to don't worry about it. Don't do anything because the Most High God will do it. The Lord said, vengeance is mine, thus said the Lord. So that means you don't have to forgive them. I'm sorry, are you gonna say something?
It's like, I mean, it's like how Christians want to say that, you know what I'm saying, the Lord is, he's so loving, but he has love for one set of people.
Right.
He has hate for everybody else.
That's
But this scripture like to say, you have no pity for them. So just, if I could, just imagine that when somebody gets, when those heathens get struck by lightning by the Most High, and they are burning, they are running, oh my God, I'm on fire. They just start falling on the ground and rolling, and you see them burning. The Most High says, have no pity on them. No pity. Have no pity on them. You understand?
But I thought the Lord was loving.
Exactly.
I thought he was, I thought he was loving everybody.
But he loves Israel.
He
And
loves
that's
Israel.
what we want to show the people, man. We don't have pity on these heathens. Just how they didn't have pity on us when we were in slavery, and they made postcards about putting us on stakes and burning us in front of the public, and had their children and said, look at that, see how that nigger is burning? See how he's burning? And when they put us on trees, they hung us. Or when they had us, being broken half by horses, they had no pity on us. Always remember that. Never forget. Never forget. That's what the Most High wants us to do as well. Never forget it. Have no pity on these heathens.
But what your Christian pastors do, they don't say this. They want you to love everybody.
That's right.
Everybody. Right. How could you love everybody?
Because it's good for business.
It's good for business.
It's good for business.
Go ahead, little sis. That's enough said?
I have a question.
Sure.
So what if it is a black person? So what if it's an Israelite that did something?
Yeah, Israelite do something, you have to forgive them. Punishment still comes down by the Most High God, but that's your brother. Who does something to you, you forgive that brother because the things that they've been going through. We all been in captivity. Our minds have been more portrayed. So it ain't right because Israelites are not supposed to kill each other. Period. But we have to have forgiveness on our brothers and sisters. But ultimately, in the end, the Lord will also punish him to punish. He will. No one leaves this earth against who sins against the Most High and don't be punished. All be punished. Understand? Answer your question.
But also, if I could, with that, because that's a very good question. So what we mean by that is how you say like that brother, sister who might have wronged you. You know what I'm saying? They're in oppression as well. They're trying to survive just like you. You understand? So now, granted, don't put yourself in that kind of position to be taken advantage of. But what we're saying is, have love for that person, have mercy for your brother and sister. You know what I'm saying? Do forgive them. But now that the hate, when we talk about the heathens, don't forgive the heathens. Don't forgive them. Have that hate for the heathens. Keep them away from you.
Right.
That's what we're saying. Separate yourself from them. Separate, if you can, separate physically, but most importantly, separate your spirit. Separate your spirit, you understand, from that oppressor, from that heathen. Okay, because they will use that to manipulate you and still somehow try to keep you in bondage mentally and spiritually.
Right.
Amen.
Salaki Adawan, if I may, precept.
I'd love to hear it.
Another precept. Go ahead.
Khan. This is the book of Matthew, chapter 20 and verse, Salaki. This is Matthew, chapter 18 and verse, I'm going to start at verse 21.
Uh-huh.
Then Peter came to him and said, Lord, how oft shall my brother sin against me?
Which means how often, right? My brother sins against me. Go ahead.
And I forgive him.
And he shall forgive him. How often, if my brother sins against me, how many times shall I forgive him?
Till 7 times.
Mm-hmm.
Yahushua saith unto him, I say unto thee, not until 7 times,
Right.
but until 70 times 7.
Right. Not until 7 times. How often should I forgive my brothers? If he go against me, he just say he does something, he got crossed me 7 times. Should I forgive him all 7 times? The Lord, Yahweh, y'all call him Christ, Jesus. We call him Yahweh. That's his name in the Hebrew. Yahweh said not only 7 times, but 70 times 7.
Right.
Which means always forgive your brother. Right. Always forgive your
Right.
sisters. You understand? We all, like the brothers bringing out, we all went through oppression, so our mind is not right. You ever heard of PTSD? We hear PTSD, we accept that from the military, but PTSD can be passed down generation to generation. It's a medical condition. We've been conditioned to think this way, not to forgive our brothers. So now we're trying to teach you to forgive your brother. Now also at the same time, you got to be smart about it. If your brother stole from you, but then again he turns around and say, you know what, I need bread. You don't say, I'm not going to give you the bread because you stole from me. That's turning the other cheek. You give that brother, that sister some bread.
Right.
Understand? But that don't mean you leave him in your house alone with your stuff.
That's
Be smart about it. Put them still on you again. Right. Hold on, sister, you can't come in. Right. I'll bring the bread to you. Here you go.
And
You know what I mean?
Just like a real quick, if I could.
Yeah.
Also teach that brother and that sister how to ask.
Mm-hmm.
You teach them how to communicate. You teach them, hey, you don't have to sneak and try to steal this from me.
Yeah, right.
You teach them humility. Hey, brother, sister, if you need something, come to me, and if I can give it, then I will give it. I'll give you something. I'm gonna make sure you're not just left out in the dark.
Right.
I'm gonna make sure you're not gonna starve. But brother, sister, be humble.
That took a long time for me. I mean, that took a long thing for me to forget that. I just, I don't want to deal with nobody no more. I don't forget. I ain't gonna deal with that brother. I ain't deal with nobody. But now as I come into the truth, understand the spirit and the brotherhood, you still help that brother and sister, man. You still help them because it's important to help each other because they're not in their right minds. But by you showing that love, that might trigger something in them. Like, you know what? Let me go ahead and change.
Right.
If we do that, each one teach one, and each one do that to each other, you'll start seeing the Black and Hispanic community come back together. Especially the Black, you see it start to come back together. You understand? These are things we got to do. Right, brother.
Right. Salaki, if I may. When I was a kid, I saw my sister do something like that to a neighbor of ours. We had a neighbor that little brother was like in and out of jail all the time, and he was like on drugs and stuff like that. And so whenever he would come out of jail, you know, to lock your car now and to put the stuff in the house because he would steal.
Right.
So we knew he was back when my sister went to her car and all the change in her middle console and the cup holder was missing, all the change. And so she went directly to him because we knew at that point he was out of jail.
Right.
We went directly to him and she was like, why did you take my change? He was like, what are you talking about? She was like, I would have given you dollars instead of you having to steal the change.
Right.
Just ask. You don't gotta steal the change.
I mean, brother, we genuinely, you know, we have a compassion for each other generally.
Right.
We just been conditioned to hate each other, man.
Right.
Hate each other. I mean, I got a short story. My grandmother, man, she used to feed everybody in the neighborhood. She'd talk trash about him. You know, no good nigga, you ain't. But you want to eat something?
Right.
Grandma, you just cussed the man out, but to feed him. She just say, I cussed him out. You still gotta eat.
Right.
All right, grandma. And the house was full of people. There was not a time when my grandmother's garage was not full. Had people there with music and all that because she's a pillar in the neighborhood. Not just my grandmother, all the grandmothers in our neighborhood, man. I can name a few, but all of the elders in our neighborhood used to feed each other. We looked out for each other.
Right.
Even though we had arts with each other, we looked past that and still fed each other. Go ahead, brother. You want to say something?
Yeah, just like piggyback y'all saying, you know what I'm saying? When you ask something, you know what I'm saying? If you better just ask something. Don't try to speak anything like that because just like a car say, you know what I'm saying? Your grandparents, you know what I'm saying? They was glorified in the hood for that, you know what I'm saying? Everybody was know I got a precept for that too.
Go ahead, brother. Precepts.
Book of John, chapter 14, verse 13. And whatsoever shall ask in my name, that I will do, that the Father may be glorified in the Son. Verse 14. If ye shall ask anything in my name, I will do it.
All right. If you ask anything in the Lord's name, he'll do for you, man. I mean, you want $1 million. You think the Lord will give you $1 million? He'll give it to you, but it better be in his name to do something for his people, open up schools, do something for the people in the neighborhood, or something. Now, you just want $1 million, you know, you have to work for that. You know, you reap what you sow. Go to work, you bust your tail, you get the $1 million. But if you ask for that in Yahweh's name, in the Father, he'll get them things to you, man. He'll have a school that you can feed the homeless and feed them clothes, the shelter, the people who don't have any clothes.
Right.
He'll do that for you. Before you turn around, you spent $1 million on stuff that you don't even know it.
Right.
Those are the things that ask me, I need a van, Lord. We need a van to transport these children or our people here to there. That van will come to you. Before you next thing you know it, you start adding up all the things, hundreds and thousands of dollars that you just popped out and you had no idea that you had it.
Right.
Because the Lord is just giving it to you. Giving it to you. Because it's in his name for his people. The Lord loves his people so much, he wants us to have the same kind of love for each other that he has for us. That's why the commandments has changed to what? What's the first commandment? The first commandment. Go ahead. What's the first commandment? Go ahead. Go ahead. You said it. Go ahead, bro. Oh, I thought you were talking about
Slack. It's love the Lord God with all thine.
all thy heart.
All thy heart. All thy mind.
And what's the second one?
The second one is love thy brother as thyself.
Mm-hmm. He paraphrased, love thy brother as thyself. Because that's just the most second greatest commandment.
Right. Great commandment.
Because he wants you to love each other like he loves us. If you love the Lord, how could you love the Most High God and you don't hate your brother, man? How could you say, I love the Lord, at the same time you let your brother starve in the street? You see a sister walking down the block and you don't want to pick her up. You see a baby mama, and get deep. You see a baby mama on the street because you don't let her walk. No, she's still in the rock. Because you hate this. You hate each other. We hate each other. And the Lord said, don't do that. Don't despise each other in their heart. You understand? You got to have remorse for them, but they have empathy for our brothers and sisters, man. That's the only way we're going to get around this world. That brotherhood and that sister is very, very important. And the Lord is letting us know it's very important. All right? Got any questions? Uh-oh. Go ahead, bro.
Thine eye shall have no pity upon them, neither shalt thou serve their gods.
Don't serve their gods. How would you serve somebody else's God? If everybody is the same, the Lord loves everybody, but he's telling you don't serve their God. So there's a group of people attached to this false God. So that means the Lord doesn't love everybody because he's telling you don't serve their God. I ain't been to school in a while, that's a possessive pronoun, right? Right. So their God, this is somebody that's serving. So I'm doing pretty good in school. I did pretty good. I ain't do too bad.
It's like it's spelled THEI.
There you go.
That's right.
So there must be some other people with another God that they believe. There must be some other Arab with a God he believes. So I seen somebody on Facebook say, what's that dude that say, and another one, what's his name? DJ Khaled. They said, well, DJ Khaled say, my God, what God he talking about? Another God. And another one, and another one. There's another God, man. There's another God. It's not our God. Right. But if you think about it, every nation has a God. The East Indians have who? Who the East Indian guys? Anybody know? Shiva. All the little snakes in their head and smoking that weed, smoke too.
And just so I if I could, just in case, if you had a different God, it would have been acceptable as well.
East Indians. Africans got a God. Africans got 365 gods. Right. Go ahead, little sister.
Some people also make up their own gods.
Some people got their own gods. You're right. What's Buddha? The Chinese got the Buddha. Right. So every other nation have their own God. Where's the blacks and the Hispanics and the Native Indians God? Our God is the American God, the so-called, the oppressive God. That Jesus with the little Jesus that everybody have in their house. Give me that picture. Give me another picture on that floor right there. I'm gonna show you the God of the black, Hispanic, and Native Indian God. I'm gonna show you the God that they told us who our God is, and this is what we're using. This is him. If you hold this picture up, who is this?
White Jesus.
White Jesus. You sound like Michael on Good Time. White Jesus. That's the devil, right?
That's right.
That's the devil. This is it. This is the God they had us believe in. And you know how detrimental this is? Because our kids see this picture and they'll think we gotta bow down to our oppressor. They'll think they're not great. Because we relish this guy, but your own father in your house you won't relish. Because we're not used to that. This is another God that they had to serve. This is what the Lord said, he'll punish you for serving their gods. Read that scripture again. Who said their God? Don't accept their gods.
Come on. Thine eye shall have no pity upon them, neither shalt thou serve their gods.
We shouldn't serve their God. That God said you can actually go and celebrate Christmas because you celebrate his birthday. That God said you can go and do Easter. That God said you can serve Halloween. Our God said you can't do none of that stuff. One
high God, one true God we serve. It's Yahweh, Israel. Yahweh our King. Exactly. You understand? Keep reading, brother.
For that will be a snare unto thee.
It'll be a snare. When you start serving other gods, it's going to be a snare into you, man. You're going to fall into the traps and the wilds of America. Give me some traps you fall into. Go ahead, brother.
Going and taking out down loans and stuff to buy folk Christmas gifts and stuff like that.
That's right.
In debt.
Christmas, definitely Christmas. Our sister going, man. I've seen people going to Christmas trying to buy all these toys to our kids and stuff and go into debt, man. We can't even afford the rent.
Right.
That's a snare. That's a snare in the trap. Go ahead, sister.
Also Halloween, because some people waste their money for candy for other kids that they don't even know.
That's right. They don't even know. Halloween is fairly small. Not only that, you out there, your kids getting snatched up on Halloween. That's a trap. That's a snare trap. Because I know people during Halloween, the Illuminati, who the heck they be talking about? They go out and take kids, man, on them days. So now you setting your child up for a trap right there.
Like what they call it, cornfield maze.
Yeah, the corn. Saw that movie. Children of the corn. Yeah, the children of the corn, they're sacrificing these children. So these are snares and traps that the Lord told you to stay away from serving their God because you're going to fall into the snare, the trap. All these things, man.
So like if I could,
Hey,
another trap, how the scripture said, like, now I shall have no pity upon them. You know, you understand, like, we fall into a trap, and then our people don't have pity for each other.
That's right.
You know, and that's why, unfortunately, a lot of our brothers are on child support now.
That's right.
Right.
Child
Because
support.
there's no pity for the black man, unfortunately.
No pity,
You
man.
understand? Like if he doesn't have a job, or you know, saying he just can't make money like the legal way.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
All of a sudden now there's no pity for him.
No
Now
pity.
you want to think that the government is going to have pity for you and try to, you know what I'm saying, try to take all that money for yourself.
These all snares the trap. Our sister's getting government assistance, but you can't bring the husband in the house, can't bring the man in the house. It's a trap, man. Whereas the nation of Israel, we're supposed to take care of our own people. So what? You don't got a place to live. Yo, come on over. I know one thing. I know in the ISUPK, brother, give us a call. Say, he had a place to stay. Brother, come on, stay with us. I don't give a damn. We only got one bedroom in there or whatever. That brother gonna have a place to go.
Right.
That sister gonna have a place to go. We're gonna make sure they have something because we gotta take care of our own.
That's right.
We're not gonna say, oh, well, sister, you come stay with me and your husband can't come. We're gonna kick him out. No. We're gonna provide a place for all our people and bring the children. That means I gotta go stay with my people. You're gonna have this house. I'll go stay with my neighbors that I know. My neighbors, the brother. I ain't talking about no neighbor. Heathen. Talking about your brother. You know, black, Hispanic, Native Indian. I'm gonna stay with one of them who has room so you can have my house. Because all these things on earth, you gotta remember, it means nothing without your brother. It means nothing. You can have nice cars, nice rides, whatever. It means nothing. Your brother don't got it. Whatever I have, my brother can. Any one of my brothers can ask me for whatever they got, and I give it to them because it's my brother.
Right.
Now, when I was in the world, there's only some things you can ask me for. I'm like, others are like, nah, you can't get that. You can't get that. You know what I'm saying? But now, my brothers don't, I mean, there's nothing I'm attached to that my brothers can't have. They can use it. They need it. Got no problem. And that's how it's got to be. Finish it up.
Come. Verse 17. If thou shalt say in thine heart, these nations are more than I, I'm just slocking. How can I dispossess them?
That's the problem, because we look at the other nations, think they're bigger and stronger than we are. They're oppressing us, so we think that they're over top of us, so we're afraid of them.
Right.
We're afraid of this thing. The Lord said, don't be afraid of these people. Right. Don't be afraid of them. So I ain't gonna say people, the other nations. Because you gotta understand that Israel is a nation, and you're amongst other nations. Your Christian pastor tell you all together. If we're all together and we're supposed to be one, then how come God is breaking it down saying there's other nations? There's a lie going on. Somebody is lying. It ain't this Bible. It's your Christian pastor. It's your politicians.
Right.
It's putting you all together. But if you come back to your law, statutes, and commandments, you come back to this Bible, and you're going to understand there's different nations over there. And right now, those nations are oppressing us, so we're afraid of these other nations. But the Most High God said, what? Keep going.
Verse 18. Thou shalt not be afraid of them.
You should not be afraid of them. Go ahead.
But shall well remember what the Lord thy God did unto Pharaoh.
There are things in this world. There are things, what we call them, to remind you of stuff. not remember, periods in life. There's periods there's periods in life which show you that you remember things. Like, I remember at this point when we did this. Or like when I was growing up, I can remember that's the time we left New Jersey. That's the time I left, I played football. There's little areas that you bring back to your remembrance of what happened.
Right.
The Lord always referenced Pharaoh,
Right.
Egypt.
Right.
So you will remember what the hell he did to these people who tried to put you in the dirt, who raised up against you, who beat your children, who gave you another God. He wants you to remember, this is what I did to them, who led you down the wrong path.
So like if I
Go ahead.
real quick, that how Officer Kashan brought out that movie, that's the memory that we should have.
We gotta have it.
That's the memory we should have, sir.
We gotta have it, man. We gotta have these minds. We gotta go back. Always think about Egypt. Why did the Lord destroy Egypt? Because of the things they were doing to us. And the Lord is telling you, don't be afraid of any nation. Because Egypt, you don't understand how big that nation of Egypt was back then. When somebody runs a nation back then, they didn't just rule just this area. They ruled parts of the world.
Right.
There's provinces of Egypt. It was huge. And our people was where? It was right there with them. Because the Lord spread us all across the earth. So across these areas, our people was there, learning their ways, subjected to the things that they want us to do. And we was breaking our laws, statutes, and commandments because they provided these things for us, and we fell into it. We was working 7 days. We didn't give a damn about the Sabbath. And the Lord took a man out and said, you know what? Go get my people out of here and bring them back to me.
Right.
And he brought them out of Egypt, and then the Lord just didn't say, you know what, we're just going to hurt them, and we're just going to we're going to stop them from it. Lord, destroyed them.
That's right.
Water crushed them. If you're going back and read in Psalms, I believe, Psalms, when they tell you how the chariots was crushed. It wasn't when the water come over you, like you in the pool and the water come grazing over you. Nah. When them waves hit, them waves crushed chariots, therefore crushing heads. That's how the Lord said, I want you to remember them. Because the same way I did to them, who were ruling over you, I will do to any other enemy out there, any other nations out there. I'll do the same thing to you if you touch my children. No different than I will kill somebody if you touch my daughter.
Right.
No different. Because it's self-defense. I ain't saying going to kill nobody. It's self-defense. I'm trying to harm my family. It's going to be something. It's going to be trouble. It's going to be hell to pay.
Right.
Go ahead, brother.
Yeah, just like you saying, the piggyback, you gotta remember the work that you did, you know what I'm saying? So, you can be able to pass it down to your children and stuff like that. Then pass it down, so you gotta make sure, you know what I'm saying, the work of the Lord still continue on. I got a precept for that.
Go ahead.
The book of Psalms, chapter 143, verse 5. I remember the days of old. I meditate on all thy works.
Right.
I muse on the work of thy hands.
That's right.
Just like you pick back everything you're saying right there.
You got to remember these things. Lord wants you to remember these things, man, because if you don't remember them, it's black if we pass down things. I remember stuff my grandmother did, and I do the things to my daughter, my kids, that my mother did. So you remember things and passing down the same concept. The Lord is telling you, remember these things, passing down your generations so they won't get lost. Don't be afraid of nobody. Go ahead, brother.
Yeah, so here what you and Austin Apostle bringing out, this verse 18 goes right along with what they were talking about in verse 16. He wants you to remember. How do you remember? You celebrate things like the Passover.
That's right.
If you celebrate the Passover, you celebrate the Most High God. You celebrating our victory. But if you're, taking on their gods and stuff like in verse 16, if you're going to celebrate the 4th of July, celebrate when your ancestors got raped, murdered, and robbed and stuff. You celebrating another nation conquering over you. That is a snare because you're investing in that, and you're poisoning your children's mind. You pour the generation after, teaching them lies, teaching them how to honor their oppression. You get what I'm saying? So that's pretty deep.
Yeah.
It's pretty.
Once you start reading the Bible, things come out. Remember that. But you start reading the Bible, things come out.
But it just shows it's like you said in stone. If you don't celebrate the Passover, I don't give a damn what denomination or Christian church or Pentecostal, what you worship. You do not worship God. If you don't celebrate the Passover, you do not worship God.
And that's why the Sabbath service is very important. All of these things that we do is important to get back to our people. The Sabbath service is very important because it brings us back to our culture. It brings us back to everything that we need to adhere to the Lord. You go back and you look at it. It's like that.
What book are you in? Deuteronomy 7.
Deuteronomy 7.
and 18.
And 18. So this is very important, man. We come back to do these Sabbath days, and if you can get off your slavery, and you gotta sacrifice some things. You get off your slavery, and come and celebrate the Lord. Have a holy convocation with your brothers and sisters, man. Do that. You know, it's like, don't be afraid of your heathen, man. Don't be afraid of your boss. Don't be afraid of none of these heathens. Because Lord, if anybody got your back, the Lord has got your back. But you gotta do something. Like you said in the beginning, like the verse brought out, you can't just hearken. You have to do these things, and the Lord will have you back. Go ahead, brother.
Come. Verse 19.
The last verse.
Come. The great temptations which thine eyes saw, and the signs, and the wonders, and the mighty hand, and the stretched out arm, whereby the Lord thy God brought thee out.
He still is reminding you the great temptation and the things that you've seen, the wonders and signs that you walked over dry land, that the armies was behind you, and the Lord showed you in front of you. The times that when it was dark outside, you couldn't see. The chariots guided you. He wanted you to see no matter what you're thinking about, the ultimate thing you're afraid of was already handled in that scenario. Whatever you was afraid of in that scenario, that one scenario by the Lord bringing you out of Israel, every scenario that you're afraid of was handled in that area, in that scenario, in that thing, right there. You afraid of your people? I destroy them, don't worry about it. It was too dark outside, I can't see. I got you. What we gonna eat? Don't worry. I'm gonna give you some, I'm gonna got that too. Right. Everything that you was afraid of, the Lord sees fit to handle everything in this. Right. So there's nothing you can say. And Lord, you don't know how I feel, I'm hungry. Yeah, you do. You handle that too. Well, I'm afraid I'm gonna lose. Yeah, we left out of Egypt. Just like America, you got everything in America. Just imagine living in America for a long time, and all of a sudden you gotta go live in the woods. Right. You have nothing. He was afraid of having, I'd rather go back to Egypt. It's most of our people saying. I'd rather go back to Egypt. At least we had drinking water, we had this and we had that. Oh, so don't worry about it. I got all the stuff in this wilderness for you. Get away from the people. That's why the Lord is a separatist. Because y'all don't like me when I say he's a racist, so I'm still gonna say he's a racist, but at the very least, he's a separatist. He separated us from the people. That's right. If he wanted you to stay there, he would left us in Egypt. It's like he got us out of there. He got us out of there. And everything that you're afraid of in your mind, he handled that. You finish that scripture?
No.
You finish that.
Come. So shall the Lord thy God do unto all the people of whom thou art afraid.
If you're afraid of them, remember what I did to Pharaoh and his people. When you're afraid of these people, they was nobody. We look at them as giant in our eyes. But the Lord look at these people as they ain't nothing, man. Remember, it's not how many people we are, it's who we have on our side. That's right. Egypt was a lot of people. They had a lot of people. But yeah, they were stronger than us. But we had the Lord on our side, and we became way stronger than them. And you got to remember that. He wants everybody to remember that. And pass it down to your children, man. Pass it down to your children's children. If we keep these things alive, there's nothing great that Israel couldn't do. Nothing stop them our way. If you want to add something? All right. Any questions, comments? Hey, little sis.
I remember once I was watching this video, and the video was about a little boy who was basically killing a giant because he was giving some food to his brothers. But on his way, he gave the food, but then they saw him. So they were like, we need some help. And then he helped him out. And then he managed to kill the giant.
He killed a giant? What
just with a few rocks.
With a few rocks. Who that sound like? Who that sound like? Sound like David and Goliath right there, right? And give it a head. All right. So I don't want, you got anything you want to say?
So I just want to make one statement, for any Christian that may be tuned in to this class, reach out to. If you don't understand, if you can't grasp that the Lord want to slay your enemies to bring you out of captivity, why in 2022 are you praying for your enemies to be saved? If the Lord want to take your enemies out, that's right, to save you. It does. Ask yourself that question. Ask your Christian pastor that question. Why to this day y'all praying for your enemies to be saved when the Most High want to destroy them?
Right.
I will say this. I just walked in, so I don't know what y'all was bringing now, but one thing I didn't hear mentioned is not only are we supposed to remember what the Lord did for us, but we supposed to remember what we did to be in the situation.
Right.
Like we get Leviticus 18 and 3. That whole chapter goes into what we was involved in Egypt.
Right.
Homosexuality, mothers sleeping with sons, sons sleeping with sisters. What is that? Crossbreed? I forget what it's called.
Incest.
Incest. Pedophilia.
Okay.
With who had in the hot seat right now? Ari Spears.
Yeah.
Yeah, I heard something about that. What's going on with her?
Well, she's a Hamite, so that's what they do. But you see all the not all of them, but a lot of U.S. officials in the White House got caught up in the scandal. What's his name?
Who's that?
The one that was the one that got murdered in prison. They say it was a suicide.
Jeffrey Epstein.
Epstein.
Yeah.
Epstein.
He had a list of all the characters in the child sex trafficking scam. It included Hillary Clinton, Bill Clinton, all the big wigs, all of them. He got knocked off. The attorney general visited him in prison. The next day, he was dead. They said it was a suicide.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Wicked.
But when we do it, we get punished. Ari Spears they finna crush him.
I'm not familiar with what's going on. I mean, I heard him in the headlines. Fill me in what's going on with him. What's that with him?
It's out there.
Yeah.
You gotta pull it up. Pull it up.
Anybody want to elaborate? You might know what's going on with Ari Spears? Go ahead. What's that?
So apparently, Tiffany Haddish and Ari Spears tried to do like a comedy skit in a sexual way, like pedophilic way, and they had two siblings kind of like engaging in like sexual activity. Yeah, and they was 14 and 7 at the time. They're adults now, and so that they're suing and telling the story, saying how they made them like touch each other, and then Aries had molested the 7-year-old boy.
Wow.
Yeah, and there's a video apparently, but they took it down.
And they said it's supposed to be a skit that they brought these kids
It's a
into.
skit. So in other words, they were doing some Hollywood skit.
Yeah.
So that means that the parents signed off.
Everybody signed off.
Yeah. They're trying to be this or whatever reason.
Wow.
I imagine. Were they black?
Yes,
Well,
they're black.
Who the boy, the mother,
And
father?
the mother, they was gonna settle for $15,000 to not sue. Yeah.
So she basically gave her child away.
Yeah.
Because when you get a skit, you get a script.
Yeah.
The script goes over what's gonna go down, and
right
before you sign off on it. So she read that, and she knew what was going on. She gave her child up. She sacrificed her child to be molested, to be, and so now she's trying to come back around because she see it's an opportunity to get some money for it.
Now she want to go in.
Now she want to. Now they want to make an issue of it. Point is if you get Leviticus 18.
Got Leviticus 18.
Starting at verse 3.
Verse 3.
Okay. The book of Leviticus, chapter 18, verse 3. After the doings of the land of Egypt, wherein ye dwelt, ye shall not do. And after the doings of the land of Canaan, whither I bring you, ye shall not do.
Meaning all, you want to elaborate on?
Right. So that whole chapter goes into what we were doing in Egypt. Getting them lineups. Brothers don't know that spirit behind that lineup is a very homosexual one. Because you in the barbershop, you got a man on your face.
That's right.
Trying to get the line just right.
Above your lips.
Buzzing on the lip, trying to get it just right. Get it just crisp enough to look what? To look effeminized.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's why brothers shave
and that's
their
true.
beard.
Because you see our sisters who do the eyebrows and they really up on it. Every line gotta be straight. So like you said, damn near homosexual. Like feminine. They're feminine.
Not knowing that how your hair naturally grows. It's for the character. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's to express the indifference between you and I, not between man and woman. Right. You know, every brother's hairline different. Some brothers' beard grow mighty and some brothers they got what they got. You know what I'm saying? Right. And some scissors hair is long, some scissors hair is they make it work. You can throw in that weed. There ain't nothing long. I know y'all sisters. About the weed. You can wear the weed.
Wear the weed. Right. Wear the weed.
It's not the blind weed.
Yeah, that's the blind weed. Right. Hey, and the green one.
Not in here. Or the green, or the blue, or the red. Exactly. Or the Kool-Aid flake. Oh. We will talk about you. In the back.
Yeah, the scripture. I don't want to write. In the scripture, it says if you do the things after Egypt, whatever, you will punish. We get punished 7 times. 7 times worse than anybody else. And that's what them brothers and sisters facing right now. They're gonna get punished 7 times worse than I am, and Harvey Weinstein and all the rest of these people. Because the Lord gave us the law, statutes, commandments to follow, not them. So when you wonder why blacks, Hispanics, Native Indians get punished so hard by doing things after the manner of other nations, and we get punished because we get punished 7 times worse. 7 times worse than we ever get punished. Because the laws were given to us. So the water bring that point out. I don't want the water. We gotta remember these things, man. The Lord gave us things to live by. We gotta live by them. We gotta do them. And that's just it. Ain't no questions asked. Ain't no if you're gonna do them, should I do them? No. People think it's a choice. I got a choice to do this or do that. I got free will. You ain't got free will. What you got is do your law, statutes, commandments, live. You don't do them, and you die. That's some choices. And what choice you gonna pull? I mean, somebody get a gun in your hand and say, you know what, give me your money, I'm gonna shoot you. What you gonna do? Ain't no questions. Come on, here you gonna take the money, man. Same thing with the law, statutes, commandments. Either do them and live, don't do them and die. That's it. Anybody got any?
Yeah, I just wanted to finish my.
Oh, yes, I'm sorry.
If y'all go down and read that whole thing, we ain't gotta go read the whole thing.
Let's keep reading.
But the point is, if you can read from the top again, because I missed.
The book of Leviticus, chapter 18, verse 3. After the doings of the land of Egypt, wherein ye dwelt, ye shall not do. And after the doings of the land of Canaan.
So after the doings of the land of Egypt, meaning everything that was done in that land, we ain't supposed to do. That's what's most important to remember. We can think about the Lord's graces and mercies all day. You know what I'm saying? That's all Christian church. You know what I'm saying? What he'll do for me. I know my Jesus.
Right.
My Lord is a good Lord.
Right.
But we don't want to talk about what we ain't supposed to be doing.
Terrible. Right.
You know what I'm saying? And what we not supposed to be doing is following after the customs, because it's bigger than just Egypt. Egypt is what? It's a spiritual representation of wickedness going back to Babylonian Empire. Right. And now it's coming through America, right?
Right.
So it's bigger than that. It's about the spirit of that place. We make ourselves second class when we follow after heathens and do what they do.
Right.
We supposed to just be better. That's what we need to be focusing on.
Being better.
So that was it.
Most I got that one up. About to wrap up the class. Does anybody have any other questions or comments, statements? I'm sorry, Christ. You got something?
So like this, so do we have 490 times to forgive someone?
490 times? You got more than that. You got more times to forgive. Yeah, forgive everything is brotherhood and sisterhood. We gotta forgive each other, man. We gotta start, coming together, really start forgiving our brothers and sisters on little minor things that we do, man. Little things we upset about. So we gotta forgive those. So like I said, this is the Sabbath class. We're in Atlanta. This is for people watching. 3353 Glenwood. With the ISUPK, started 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Commander in the Honda. Teaching blacks and Hispanics the truth about who we are since 1969, man. Since 1969, Commander General is keeping this thing going, man. And we got to show our people who we are according to the Bible. So I thank you for joining us now. Join us next week. We're here every Sabbath service from 12 o'clock to 1 o'clock. Every Sabbath, we're going to give our people, we're going to feed our people the truth, let them know who they are, tell your wrongdoings, but also we're going to tell you what the Lord expects of you. We're going to give you back your culture, we're going to speak to you in the Hebrew, and everything else. So with that being said, we're going to watch the close of the class, all right? Man of Israel, come on, watch it.
Mashallah.
Which means there is real. All right, we're gonna prepare for the reading of the Lord's Prayer. Israel, Amajim, which means to stand. Apollo Kodam, which face east, SARS.
This Lord's Prayer in Hebrew. Amanawa.
Amanawa.
Shabbat Shemayim.
Shabbat Shemayim.
Wadash.
Wadash.
Ayah.
Ayah.
Shemka.
Shemka.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Lapaka.
Lapaka.
Abba. Zaka. Ayah.
Ayah.
Aisha.
Aisha.
Baratza.
Baratza.
Wa. Ayah.
Ayah.
Shemayim.
Shemayim.
Cow.
Cow.
Wam.
Wasalaknawa.
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 Asalaknawa.
Asalaknawa.
Abuakinawa. Alaa. Yainawa. Anasayuan.
Anasayuan.
Wall. Abusayanawa. Ayan. Rod. Kaya. Ka. Amalakwa. Allah. Para. La'ai Walamyam.
All right. All right, this is the Lord's Prayer in English. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done. On earth as in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread. Give us our debts, as we give our debtors. It is not temptation, deliver us from evil. Thy is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever. So be it. SARS. Turn. Shabia, please be seated. We go ahead and prepare for the announcements.
The security announcement. Let the ISUPK start out at 1 West, 125th Street, all New York. Group of new brothers and sisters. When new brothers and sisters come to the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They'll be saluted only. They hit the shepherds of the world. They need transportation, the teacher will arrange it. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest on a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to that brother or sister. There is another 6 months in which the brother and sister will court each other. After this 6-month period, the brother and sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithes, specific commandment coming from the book of Numbers, chapter 21, chapter 18, verse 21, and also the book of Malachi, chapter 3, verse 8 through 10, which means 10th in the Hebrew, ma'aishur. 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you, give to the treasury department. Priest fund, people offering for priests, not mandatory. What's the every amount you would like to give? Upcoming holy convocations is the memorial of the blowing of the trumpets, taking place September 25th, sundown.
Sign Christ, give it up. September 25th, the blowing of the trumpet, the memorial blowing of the trumpet, September 25th. So tune in, we'll be going live then as well. But tune in, that is one of the Lord's days that we're supposed to celebrate. So make sure you be there live.
Reminder, if any brother and sister want to check the bulletin board in the hallway, any other updates. Also, if any brother wants to be a trooper in the school, start wearing all black at all times, as boots, shirts, bands, headbands, and war scarves. And also remember to Google the address for the school to help build the algorithm. Right. And that is 3353 Glenwood Road, Decatur, Georgia. And with that, men of Israel, first salute for the teacher. In Israel, Amaj Shabbat, Amaj Barak, what we just said in the Hebrew, may the Most High, the name of Christ, bless you. Yamatai, hands down. In Israel, Sar, for sisters, Amaj. In Israel, Amaj Shabbat, Amaj Barak, what we just said in the Hebrew, may the Most High watch over you in the name of Christ. Yamatai, hands down, class dismissed.
We're going live with you. Appreciate it. We'll be back next Saturday also. So thank you for tuning in. Shalom.